Hello everyone, my name is Joshua and this is the 170th video on my video journal series. Today's date is Tuesday the 28th of July 2026. How's everyone been? I've been pretty good, thank you, and today was a long day at uni. I went in around 8 a.m. and I didn't finish until around 4:30 p.m. and the full day was just classes. Mind you, only go to uni on Tuesdays, but it's a pretty long Tuesday at that. But I got to meet some of my old friends and, go to my classes, and it was pretty good. They just ran through, obviously, what's going to be in the semester, what the assignments are going to be. And yet again, though, I had a look at the assignments. They're really interesting, and obviously, there's one assignment I have that's due in 3 weeks' time. And the teacher wants us to get a start on it like right now. So it is all coming in very fast at once. Like the second lesson, you're already expected to work on something or at least come up with an idea. So yeah, looks like the rest of the week is going to be pretty busy in that regard, just preparing for that assignment, but also doing week two's work because yet again though I have to go in on Tuesdays, and Tuesdays the date with all my tutorials. So it's expected that you do all the readings and lectures by Tuesday. So yeah, there is like a sort of process to this. And I'm quite accustomed to uni life, but even then, some things just get out of hand, and at some point there's going to be too much work. But it's best to at least chisel some of it away than to leave it not chiseled, I guess. That's just my little analogy when it comes to doing work. Um, and obviously, yeah, I just started to feel like really dead towards the end. Because I only packed like a small tuna meal, and I had that in the afternoon. But I was just like, man, I just need a sugar boost. So I had a can of Mountain Dew. It gave me a temporary sugar boost, but yeah, towards the end, I was just like, damn, I'm hungry. So I went to the grocery store on my way home, picked up some things, mostly snacks, but I did pick up some bread and other essentials. Um, and I didn't go to Aldi though. I went to Coles, but I will pop in Aldi and see what they're, if they have any anchovy on their shelf. Uh, you know, because I said it yesterday. I went into Aldi, or not too long ago. I went into Aldi and they had no anchovy. So hopefully they restock soon. I can most certainly close that book about anchovy. I know most of you are sick about me talking about anchovy. So yeah, I'm just gonna leave that to the side and really just focusing more upon uni. It is quite easy to get burnt out, and obviously, the teachers and lecturers are very passionate in what they teach. All right, I understand that, but sometimes, with all this work piling in all at once, it really easy to get burnt out. So yeah, I've been trying to like I guess evenly distribute my work. I'm still trying to figure out like what my study schedule should be. I guess do whatever is most important first. Um, and in that regard, it will be what subjects I have first on Tuesday. Like this subject, followed by this subject, then ending with that subject. So I'll naturally do one, two, three. Doing it in that order. And obviously, tomorrow will basically be me finishing off week one's work because some subjects didn't post any readings for week one, which was good. Less work for me, but finishing off some stuff and then coming up with assessment ideas. Sometimes you're just thrown in the pit and you gotta like, you know, sort of react. You gotta like, think on the spot. And I remember that practical yesterday. It was kind of like that. We had to think on the spot where we had to because I went to a workshop yesterday. That was my first class, and we had to use a Sony FX3 camera to take some photos, which will be used. That camera will be used for one of our assignments. In fact, this next assignment that I mentioned previously. So yeah, and obviously I have a Canon R50 camera at home, but the Sony FX3 camera is a very professional camera. It's more expensive. It goes for like I think $5,000 or $6,000. It's like a very much like a professional camera. like, and it has like all these like buttons and knobs and all these modes, and they had to teach us how to use this very complex piece of technology in like 1.5 hours, which is not enough, or like 1.5 to 2-ish hours. Um, which is not enough time, because I end up forgetting the small details. And obviously, since we have to use the Sony FX3 camera and the assignment I'm talking about, the assignment due in 3 weeks, I have to refamiliarize myself with that technology, and then I got to find a good idea, and then, and I'm very much a slow learner. It may seem like I'm stupid, but it really takes me a while to get a hold of something. But once I get a hold of something, I do retain that knowledge. So being in a fast-paced environment, it is often uncomfortable, and unfortunately, uni is somewhat of a fast-paced environment. Um, and I always like to say, if you don't know what you're doing, just don't do it. You don't want to rush into something without knowing, but at the same time, when you basically got a pitchfork about to stab you in the rear, you're gonna move out. You're gonna like get on the move, even if it means you'll be exhausted running. That's my little analogy for work. When someone tries to stick a pitchfork up your rear. I know that's very graphic and inappropriate, but it does feel like that sometimes. You just gotta run, 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 and yeah, that can get exhausting. You can easily get worn out. So yeah, mental health is yet again my mental state. It's top priority. Same thing with my physical well-being. I need to eat enough food, get enough. I hate to say it, sugar in my body, so that I can survive. And yeah, that's. I know I said yesterday feeling determined, but there are today was just a very very big day, but I only have at least one big day out of the week. So that's good. That is good. And I can most probably stop talking about assignments now. But yeah, going back on campus for the second day in a row, second day of university. Yeah, nothing much has changed on my campus really. Um, None of the buildings have really changed, and obviously you run into the same old people, and you know, yeah, it's just pretty much what it was like last semester and the semester before. But it was pretty nice weather today. Looking outside in the city, it was very nice. No rain, but it was cold in the morning. And I remember waking up and waking up from my bed today and going like, oh, now I have to change pajamas. And when you change pajamas, you just you feel very very cold. And I certainly felt very very cold. I was shivering, but once I got my clothes on, it was a lot more manageable. And I didn't bring a scarf or gloves with me because, even though I have those things, I thought, hey, trying to open up my wallet with gloves, since it's got Velcro, it's very much annoying. And trying to take off your gloves so you can open up your wallet so you can get your Opal card and hop on a bus, tram, or ferry, or train, it really is a nuisance. At least for me, when you're wearing woolen gloves and you're in contact with Velcro, which is not a good mix because it just ends up sticking to the Velcro. Um, and Yeah, pretty much. The train, public transport ride was pretty good. The train ride, and I actually managed to see the Grafton XPT at Walleye Creek Station. I was on a train at Walleye Creek, and then the Grafton XPT came by. For those who don't know, the Grafton XPT train is the one that's painted in the candy livery, the original 1980s livery or color scheme that was used for the XPT trains. It's the one that's got the old State Rail logo and XPT written on it. It's they call it candy because it looks like a what you call it, the red and white looks like a peppercorn almost. Its color scheme. Yeah, I saw that today. It wasn't my first time seeing that special train. I previously saw it. I think it was last semester, so that would have been a few months ago. But it was a light to see, and mind you, I had to wake up very early in the morning to like watch that. And I didn't even plan it. It was just like I was on a train, top deck, and then I suddenly saw the Grafton Candy Cab. Oh, sorry, Candy Livery XPT pass by the retro one. and I, took out my camera and started filming it. I got it saved on my phone. I'll upload it to my main channel a little bit later. Obviously, it isn't the best footage because when you're on the top of a train, sometimes the windows can be like very, damaged, or I guess when you're like really high up, you don't really get like a very good shot of the train, at least from the front. And whenever I like to shoot videos of trains, I always like to do it like from the station platform, not really from another train. Um, but I do want to document it because I feel like the XPT trains are going to get removed because those were the trains that were introduced in like the 1980s for regional lines. And yeah, they're pretty old, and I wouldn't be surprised if they were to retire them in a few years, or maybe 1 or 2 years' time. The K-set trains were uh, gone just like that, and I doubt they'll bring them into service again. So yeah, the same thing might happen with the XPTs. I know the train that's going to replace the XPTs. I saw one at Central a few months back as well, and that one seemed just about ready. So once they put those into service, I'm assuming they're going to slowly withdraw the XPTs, and hopefully that Grafton XPT, the retro one, will be the one preserved, and hopefully that'll be the last one to do like a run, a public run before being placed into heritage preservation. And I know I just started talking about trains, but something I witnessed today. The old, I shouldn't say old, the Grafton XPT with the old Candy livery. Um, and yeah, what else happened today? I was just looking back. Nothing much really. Walking through the city, I didn't bring out my Canon camera, but I, saw a bunch of things happening around in the city. I know I already got a phone on me, but I really like to take that sort of like good camera with me to Canon because you can get like very crisp, very detailed imagery and videos, even with a heavily sort of magnified image. Something that you can't really do on my smartphone, because with my smartphone, it's pretty good, but if you like zoom in on the image, it suddenly gets like pretty bad. So yeah, that's the reason why I like the Canon. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Yet again, though, I am going to be pretty, I guess, busy. Even for week one, there's a lot of things that prop up. So, yeah, it looks like I underestimated a little bit. But yet again, I am determined to do hard work this semester. And I am determined to, take the challenge, right? Take risk. Take, you know, get over these hurdles, um, in uni and in life as well. Yet again, but I feel like it's important for me to prioritize my mental and physical well-being this semester ahead, but I also need to do good quality work and use, they really want us to use like professional equipment and write professional essays and all that. So yeah, you got to do things professionally, and you got to look the part. You got to look professional, as well. Maybe not the last bit, but I like to look professional whenever I'm doing professional things. You just get in the mood, and you know, I feel like you need to be in a good mood to do good things. But anyway, that's enough of me talking, and I guess I'll catch you all tomorrow.